This video has been made possible by Rebusfarm, the professional render service. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Well guys, the holidays are just around the corner, and whatever type of holiday you are celebrating, lights are always cool, okay? So that's what we're going to create in this tutorial. We're going to model them in Maya and we're going to texture them in Keyshot, okay? So let's check it out. Here we go. Alrighty guys, let's get started. So we're in Maya 2017, and what we're going to do is we're going to start with our electrical cord for our lights, and for that we're going to go to Create, we're going to go to Curve Tools and CV Curve Tool. Then we're going to switch to our top view. And what you absolutely want to avoid is a perfectly straight line. That's no fun at all, okay? So we're just gonna start by clicking on the left here, and we're gonna kind of move a path towards our first light and kind of bring that in like so. And then just bring that back, and we'll go over here and we'll do our second light somewhere around here. And then maybe go up here, do one there. Bring that back in, and let's see, we'll do one here, we'll go over here, do one there, and then go back here, okay? Something like that, all right? Now that's going to be our path for our cord. Now it's obviously not the cord itself, so what we're going to do is we're going to extrude a twisted cable onto that. So for that, we're going to take a polygon cylinder. Excuse me. Sorry about that, guys. So we're going to right-click. We're going to go to Face. Actually, before we do that, let's go to Object Mode and hit Control A. We want to go in and set our caps to 0. Then we're going to go in. We're going to right-click to the face. We're going to drag select all of these. Hit Delete. So we just got this guy in object mode, and we're going to start to move it by hitting W towards the beginning here. Hit F to zoom in. We're going to hit R to scale it down, way down, and again F to zoom in. I'm going to hit E to rotate it and hold down J while I rotate it to snap it in sections of 15 degrees. And there you go. One more. So let's see where we're at. We're pretty close. This is still way too big, but hang on. I'm going to go to Modify and Center Pivot for a sec. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to hit Control D to duplicate it. Hold down W to move it over, because that will become my twisted cable. I'm going to select them both and go to Mesh and Combine, and then Modify and Center Pivot. So the pivot will be in the middle. So I can hit W and move that, and let's get our curve exactly in between right there. We're going to move to the start roughly. Let's see where we're at. A little bit more. And now what's absolutely important is that it shouldn't be too big, but this looks pretty much correct. Okay, let's get this out of the way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click, go to Face and select 1 and Shift select 2. So do not select the objects, select the faces, okay? Then Shift select this path here, and we're going to hit Control E to extrude. Now as we do that, it goes straight out because it doesn't have any subdivision to follow that path, all right? So we're going to hit Control A to open up our attribute editor. And let's see what we need to tweak to make that a nice flowing cable, okay? Now, first of all, we have the subdivisions. It's set to 1 right now, which is obviously not enough. So let's do, I don't know, 200 or so. And immediately when we do that, you see that follows our path. Still thinking that it's a bit thick, our cable. So just excuse me guys while I go back a few steps. I want this to look good, all right? So we're going to go back here to these guys, and I'm going to right click at object mode and hit R to scale that way down, and then we'll just go back in, right click face, 1 and 2, and select that. Control E to extrude. There we go again. And we're going to go into subdivisions, and let's do 200. Yeah, that's much better. Okay, 200. So that looks all right. Thing is, I want this to be a twisted cable, and it's still a bit rough for my taste. This doesn't have to be a low poly model at all. So why stop at 200? Let's do, I don't know, 800. Much better. Okay, so 800 on that, and we also want this to be a twisted cable. Okay, so here we have the twist setting. We're gonna crank that up, and it's at 180, and let's see if we got any effect yet. In my experience, it has to be way higher. So let's do much more than that. Okay, now at 50,000, which is a bit much. So let's try 25. That is actually not too bad. Looks pretty close to what you would normally see. I do want to crank up the subdivision though, just to give it a bit of smoother look. And like I said, we don't really have a restriction. We're not going to go completely nuts on it, but let's do that. Okay. So looking at this, I'm happy with the way it looks. Cool. So what we can do is we're going to right click at object mode. We're going to select that. We're going to go to, let's see, Windows and Outliner. And there's our curve. We need to get rid of that. So with this guy selected, we're going to go to Edit, Delete by Type, History. And then we're going to take our curve and we're going to delete it. Okay, so we just have our cable here. Now next up is our lights. For that we need to have a couple of things. First, what we're going to do is we're going to take a, let's see, we'll take a sphere, and we'll hit W to pull that out, like so. And we're going to hit E to rotate it, and hold down J to snap it until it's facing forward. F to zoom in. It's at 90 degrees, that's fine. And we're going to go in from top view, hit F to zoom in. We're going to right click at a face, and let's take all of this and just delete that. Okay, so that's going to be our cap, if you will. All right, that looks smooth enough, but I don't want to see any corners there once we're done, so I'm going to go to mesh and smooth. Now I'm certain that it's smooth enough. Okay, and then from there what we're going to do is we're going to take a polygon, let's see, another polygon cylinder, hit W, bring that out, E to rotate, hold on J to snap, like so. We're going to go into the attribute editor, we're going to set caps to 0, and actually we don't even need the caps here, so we're going to take that and that, delete it. We're going to right click at object mode, we're going to go into the height, and let's add a number of sections here. Let's do 10, that's fine. Why am I getting these faces back? 1 and 2, good. We're going to right click, we're going to go to face, we're going to click and shift double click, and then we're going to do that here as well, like so. We're going to control E to extrude, R to scale out slightly but nothing crazy, like so, that's fine. And then we're going to right click and go into edge, and we're going to double click on this edge and hit control E again. We're going to hit R to scale that out or flare it out or whatever you want to call that, and then hit G to repeat last command and W to pull out, like so. Alright, then we're gonna, what's going on here? Okay, it's not good. Looks like I screwed something up there, my apologies. Let's see, what I can do is I'll just go back a few steps. doesn't want to play ball, looks like. Okay, so we're gonna go in here, we're gonna right click. Actually, let's just go back a bit further. Yeah, we're good. My apologies, guys. So we're gonna go to, let's do 11, that's fine. Right click face. Got that. Control E to extrude, R to scale out, like so. I'm gonna go in and take this face and delete that. What is going on there? Okay, I'm just gonna cut here and redo this, okay? All right, we're gonna take a polygon cylinder, we're gonna hit W, we're gonna move that over, E to rotate, hold down J to snap it to 90 degrees. We're gonna set the caps to 0, and let's set the height subdivision to 11, okay? Let's see, we're gonna go in, right click face, click and shift and double click to select these. And let's just close this out for a sec. Okay, I'm gonna hit Control E, and I'm just gonna figure out where my menu's at, so just give me one sec. Yeah, we're all good. Okay, so Control E, we're gonna hit R to scale that out just slightly, like so. All right, then I'm gonna go in, right click and delete that face, and select that one and delete that one, and only those faces and nothing else. And then we're gonna take this guy, and let's hit W and move that in, okay? I have to zoom in. We want this to be a good fit, so we're gonna hit R to scale that up, and actually this guy is gonna be smooth. So we're gonna go to mesh and smooth. Nice. And that seems to be okay. And we are good, okay. So then we're gonna select this, and we are going to right click and go to edge. Not quite sure if we have to, maybe not. No, we don't have to. Okay, cool. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna right click at object mode, we're gonna select both and go to mesh and combine. And let's just take this and kind of position it and scale it so we kind of know what size we're looking at and so forth. So I'm just gonna move that in here. It's obviously way too big, so let's bring that way, way down. I have to zoom in. So that geometry will be cutting into our model. Normally you would avoid that, especially when animating and so forth. In this case, we're just going for a render shot and nothing else, so we're not going to worry about it. Let's see, size-wise seems to be okay. Cool. All right, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take a polygon sphere. Hit W, that's going to be our light. We're going to bring it over here, and what we're going to do is we're going to hit E to rotate it, hold down J to snap it to 90 degrees, like so. We're going to hit R, and we're going to start to pull that out, kind of into that typical shape that you would expect. And then we're going to go to our top view, hit F to zoom in, hit 4 for wireframe mode, and we're going to hit R to scale this down. Hit W to bring that in. And that's pretty much where we're going to be at. have to zoom in. Okay, make sure we are nice and centered, like so. And then we're going to bring it out just slightly. We're going to right click, go to face. We're going to make sure that we only have this guy selected. Right click face. And then we're going to select these faces at the end. And we're going to delete those. And then we're going to right click at the edge. We're going to double click on this guy. Control E to extrude. W to push in, like so. R to scale in. And then G to repeat. And W to pull out, like so. Okay. So if I'm correct from a height point of view, and I think I am, right click on object mode. That's what we got. This cable is not going over there. That's what it looks like, but it's not the case. So this is pretty good. Not perfect yet, because this little tip at the end here, I'm going to go to vertex. Take that single vertex right there. Hit B on my keyboard for soft select. And I want to stretch that out to make it a little bit more pointy, if you will. And that looks much better. So I'm going to right click at object mode, and I'm going to hit B to turn off my soft select. And I'm going to go to mesh and smooth to make sure that I don't have any issues there. Okay, it all looks good. Now what I need to do is I need to create a color ID map here. So I'm going to select my cable. I'm going to go to assign new material. Let's do a Lambert, and I'm just going to give a random color to it. It doesn't matter as long as it's different from the other items. So once I'm in Keyshot, I can easily apply materials to it. Okay. Now here we have the same deal. So I'm going to take this. I actually want, let's see, do I want one material in that? Yes, I do. So I'm going to assign new material, another Lambert, and we'll do, I don't know, yellow or so. And we'll take this guy, assign new material, Lambert, and blue, whatever. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take our light here. We're going to go to mesh and combine for now. So we can hit Control D to duplicate it. Hold down W, and let's move that over. Hit E to rotate that, and flip it around. Hit W and bring that into position. From our top view, hit F to zoom in. And let's make sure that that is sitting where it needs to sit. We're going to hit the insert key and move the pivot point down here. So we can now hit E and kind of rotate it a little bit, just so it looks a little bit more authentic, like that. And let's have a closer look. I have to zoom in. Okay, so that's that. Then we're going to hit Control D to copy that one. We're going to move that over here. Have to zoom in, and our pivot point is still where we left it, so we can hit E and rotate this guy way over in this direction, and hit W and kind of move that. Not with that handle, hang on. Yeah, looks okay. And then let's see, 1, 2, 3, we got 2 more. Control D to move that over here, E to rotate it, F to zoom in, W to move in, that seems to be okay. And just wondering whether we want to rotate it a little bit. I think we will, so we're going to hit E and kind of push it in that direction, just to mix that up a little bit. Okay, and then we have one more, so hit Control D. Let's move that over here. Bring that in. E to rotate, flip that around, F to zoom in, W to move it. Okay, let's see if we're happy with the overall look. That is quite straight, so we're gonna rotate that guy to, let's say, somewhere over there, like so. And then this one, what we're gonna do is take that, and that one doesn't have his pivot point, so we're going to hit the insert key, move the pivot point over here. So now if we hit E to rotate it, we can move that. Okay. Now I'm not going to lift the lights up too much for the simple reason that we're going to have to keep into account the floor and that it's flat and so forth. So this looks okay. We're gonna take a polygon plane as our floor or table or whatever. So we're gonna bring that in like that. We're gonna stretch that out like so. So that will be our table. Our shot will probably be something like that, and we need to lower our table. So we're gonna go in here, we're gonna hit W, and that's why I didn't move the lights up or down. Just wondering whether this is what I want. No, I'm gonna get rid of the floor. We're gonna go with this. Now these blue lights need to have different colors, so I'm gonna select these guys and go to mesh and separate. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Right there. So I can go back in and take these. Come on. Okay, we got all of those. I'm gonna right click assign new material. Lambert, let's do, I don't know, yellow, that's fine. And then one we'll leave blue, we'll take this one, assign new material, Lambert, we'll do baby blue, we'll take this one, assign new material, Lambert, we'll do green, and it's not going to be the final color, it's just going to be a color, so we can apply different materials to it once we're in Keyshot. Okay, almost done. And let's see. Okay, so we got our cord, we got our lights and so forth. So we're going to drag select the whole thing. We're going to go to mesh and combine. We're going to go to edit, delete by type, history. We're going to go to modify, freeze transformation, and then we're going to go to file, export selection, and we'll call this Xmas lights. Just looking at this model here, we applied textures to it and so forth, but the thing that I feel is off is that if I create a floor and scale that out and bring that to the position where it should be so that the lights are resting on the table, you see that the cable is hovering in the air, and that doesn't make sense. Okay, so what I want to do, and it's kind of a tedious process, but I can't help it, I want to do it right, is we're going to select this, we're going to go to mesh and separate, then we're going to take our cable, and not our floor, just our cable, and we're going to bring that down. And this is kind of tricky because it has to be exactly on our floor. So let's hit 4 for wireframe mode so we can see it. Okay, so we have that, and now what we need to do is combine our lights like so. mesh and combine, and I'll do the others as well. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start with this guy, and I'm going to look at the pivot point. So I have to zoom in, and this guy is in the way, but still that's okay. I can see that this is on the bottom there, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold down the D key, which will allow me to move the pivot point down to the floor, and then kind of move it over here. And I want to hit E, so hit D to turn that off, hit E, and I want to kind of rotate that light downward and then push it up a little bit, like so. And I'll show you what I mean. So now we got this situation, right? And so what we're going to do next is we're going to take our cable here, and this area needs to rotate upwards so it's fitting into our light. Okay, so I'm going to right click at a vertex, and I'm going to hit B for soft select. I'm going to drag select this area right there, and hang on, this guy should be combined. Hopefully it is. Should be one object. Okay, so mesh and combine, there we go. So right click vertex once again, I got that area selected, hit B for soft select and increase that range a little bit. Okay, so that's how I brought that cable in. Okay, it looks much more natural. I don't want to hold you guys up that much, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to repeat this process for the other lights. So I'm going to move the pivot point of the light to the middle. I'm going to tilt it a little bit. I'm going to use soft select to take that area of cable and push it up. And then when that's all done, we'll jump into Keyshot. Okay. So, and it's just a repetition of steps, so there's no point in me keeping you guys here. Okay. Here we go. Okay guys, here we are. So we have our cable, we have our lights. I just need to change this color here. Assign new material, Lambert. And there we go. So now they all look a little bit more natural. They're all tilted somewhat. The cable is raised up, so it just all looks a bit better. Okay, and sorry that I had to go back and do that, but otherwise it wouldn't look good. Okay, so that's it. Let's re-export this. So I'm gonna drag select everything. I'm gonna go to let's do mesh and combine. Yeah, we're still good. There we go. We're going to select it. We're going to go to export selection, and let's do an FBX instead of an OBJ. I'm not sure, but I thought the last time around I had some trouble when I used an OBJ. So we'll call this Xmas Lights FBX on my desktop, and there we go. And now let's jump into Keyshot. Here we go. Okay guys, here we are. So let's see, we're gonna go to File, we're gonna go to Import, and we're gonna take our FBX. And we should now retain all the colors that we applied. And I think that was a problem with the OBJ, but we'll see. Yeah, it looks all good. You can see that they are properly brought in. Good, good. So what we'll do is we'll apply a wood texture for our plateau here, our table. So we're going to go into materials. Let's find some wood, and let's see, we'll just drag that on to have a look. Looks okay, but it's a bit big. So let's double click on this material. Let's go in and look at our textures. And we have a lot of repetition going on there. So it looks like that's not the most suitable texture to use, which is fine. What we'll do is we'll just use something else. And let's go with, let's see, what would make sense here. Let's just go with kind of a, well, not white, it's too white. Yeah, what the heck, we'll do that. We're gonna take a white plastic, which is fine, okay? So then we're gonna go in, and we can tweak that later. We're gonna go in, we're gonna apply some material to our cable. For that, we're gonna use a black plastic. And we don't want it to be too reflective, but let's have a look. That's applied. Then we're gonna want metal for the end caps of our lights. So let's see, we're gonna go into metal, basic aluminum. We don't want it to be too shiny though. Let's see. Yeah, let's try aluminum, and we'll tweak the color on that. So I'm just gonna double click on it. I'm gonna go in, and the color, I'm gonna make that way, way dark. And we'll have a look. It's not bad. Now first, before we apply materials for the rest, I'm gonna set up my environment a little bit. So I'm gonna go in here, and we're gonna use a studio here. And then we're gonna go to environment, because that always has a huge effect on our end result. We'll give it a sec while it's loading. It's thinking about it, looks like. Yeah, there we are. So let's try some. We'll try this, okay? And already a huge, huge difference. So we're gonna start to work with this, and what we'll do is we'll start by applying a material to the first light. So I'm gonna go in here, and we're gonna go to plastic. Let's go to hard material. We'll do a red light, like so. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna hit OK. We're gonna double click on our red light. We're gonna go in, and we're gonna change the material type to emissive. And let's set the intensity to 8 or 9 to start with. And that looks a little bit high. You can see it okay. Let's try it higher first. And we'll tweak our lighting here. Let's go to full simulation, which will give a totally different effect. We're going to go back in, we're going to turn off caustics, and we're going to turn off interior mode. And we want to clearly have that effect, but that color is off. So we're going to go with something lower. Let's do 9. Yeah, that's a little bit more realistic. Maybe even 7.5. And it's kind of trial and error, okay? So that's not bad. We're gonna go to the next one. Let's see, we'll take this blue right here. That's actually a pretty cool surface for our table. And we'll do the same here. That color is okay. We're gonna go in and change that to emissive. We'll change that to 7.5. That's kind of cool. Then we'll go to that one. We'll do a green on that. Double click on it. We're going to go to emissive right there. And again, 7.5. We'll take, let's see, an orange one for this guy over here. Double click on it. Once again, emissive 7.5. That's pretty cool. And let's see for the one in the back. Let's do orange. And once again, emissive, that's fine. And 7.5. Let's double click on that. Yeah, seems to be okay. All right. So that's all right. Now we need to deal with our table here. So let's see what our options are. Just playing around with some settings. Find a nice angle here. Just trying to get a fairly realistic shot. I'll just play with this for a sec. Be back in a bit. Right guys, so I have the render set up in a way that it looks like the cable is coming from over here and you don't see any loose ends, so I'm happy with this position. And now we're looking at what type of material for our table to get some nice reflection. So I'm just trying some different materials here, and we've got various types of glass, and I'm just dragging them in to see how they affect the end result. We got frosted that we can try. It's not too bad, not great either. I kind of like this. So yeah, this is what we're going to go with. Okay, so we're going to go to our settings here. This all seems to be okay. I'm going to go to render and render tab. In the options, I'm going to select maximum samples. In our output, let's see, I'll send this to my desktop, and then we'll call this final render Xmas. Okay, we'll do 1920 by 1080. That's good, and this is all right. So I'm gonna hit render, pause the video, see you guys when it's done. Okay guys, well this is it. This is our final render. I thought it was a fun little project. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it as well. If you have any questions, let me know as always. And thank you very, very much for watching. Bye.